America, it is Friday, October 10th. I'm Erick Erickson. These are the 4 things you need to know this afternoon before you get home. Up first, Russ Vought, the head of OMB, has announced the layoffs have begun within the executive branch of government due to the government shutdown. They intend to fire federal employees, though government unions are protesting and filing lawsuits in the Northern District of California to stop the layoffs from becoming permanent firings. Departments targeted so far are Health and Human Services and Education, but they intend to expand throughout the federal government, focusing on areas of pet projects for Democrats, whether it's DEI funding or departments that oversee funding for non-governmental organizations, parts of Health and Human Services, and the Department of Education. If they're in a DEI agency, well, they're probably about to lose their job, and once those jobs are gone, the president intends to make them permanent terminations. If the government then reopens and money is given back to those agencies, they will be without people to perform the functions. The money will be left unspent unless the president hires new people, and it will not have to be the old people. So he can hire, for example, his MAGA loyalists in the working class and give them good government jobs. And then good luck to the next president getting rid of those people, because progressives have put in place a lot of court orders saying the president can't unilaterally fire people in funded positions. These positions now are unfunded, so he can. Stocks have dropped significantly today. In fact, the Dow Jones, as I'm recording this right now, is down over 600 points due to the problem with China and Trump. The Chinese have now imposed export controls on rare earth minerals to the United States. Donald Trump signaling he may not even meet with Xi Jinping at the APEC summit in South Korea, wondering what for. Looks like China stabbed him in the back. The Chinese thought they could take advantage of the American government shutdown and impose these export controls and other restrictions on rare earth minerals, but the president is on the job and decided to retaliate with tariffs of his own and restrictions on China as well. Started a trade war with China, except the Chinese started this one, although it is related undoubtedly to the tariffs. The Chinese also trying to restrict us militarily. We rely on a lot of the rare earth minerals. We actually, you should note, have rare earth minerals in this country. We just haven't mined them because of environmentalist concerns. It's time for the United States to get serious. Paul Ingrassia, the White House liaison for the Department of Homeland Security and the Trump nominee for Office of Special Counsel, which deals with federal employee whistleblower complaints and discrimination claims. Well, he's accused of sexual harassment. Now, for those of you who don't know Ingrassia, he's been tied to a lot of white nationalists and unsavory characters. He was a big defender of Andrew Tate, had his picture taken with Andrew Tate. It's always the ones you expect. The claims are that a woman, a fellow Trump appointee, as I'm reading from Politico, initially protested a room arrangement set up with Paul Ingrassia, but not wanting to cause more of a scene around other colleagues, she relented. So the two, who knew each other previously as friends, went to a room and slept in separate beds. That's right. In late July, Paul Ingrassia, the White House liaison for the Department of Homeland Security, arrived at a Ritz-Carlton Orlando with a lower-ranked female employee and others. When the group reached the front desk, the woman learned she didn't have a hotel room. Ingrassia then informed her she would be staying with him, according to 5 administration officials. Eventually, the woman discovered that Ingrassia had arranged ahead of time to have her hotel room canceled, so she would have to stay with him. What's not disputed is the two ended up sharing a room on the business trip. It resulted in an official investigation. Again, this guy is a big champion of Andrew Tate. He's been credibly accused of this. 5 people in the administration are complaining about it. His nomination for Office of Special Counsel has gone nowhere with the Republicans in the United States Senate. None of us should be surprised, given his defenses of Andrew Tate in the past and his ties to unsavory characters. First Lady Melania Trump is dealing directly with Vladimir Putin to repatriate Ukrainian children kidnapped by the Russians. Now, a lot of this got overshadowed because of the president's peace deal with Hamas and Israel, and then the Nobel Prize going to someone other than him. But the First Lady made this announcement herself. She's dealing directly with Vladimir Putin on this issue. The Russians, when they started the war, kidnapped a lot of Ukrainian children, moved them to Russia, have been forcing them to speak Russian and trying to indoctrinate them into the ways of the Russians. Many of them have parents still in Ukraine who can't get their children back. and many of them have parents who died in Ukraine. The Russians are trying to adopt them and integrate them into Russian society. Melania Trump, you should realize, grew up in a Soviet-backed country. She's no fan of communism. She moved to the United States in the 1980s, got her first taste of freedom, and has been a big champion of the American way of life ever since, and a critic of communist Russia. And she's had concerns in the past about Putin turning his country back to Soviet ways. That she's dealing directly with Vladimir Putin to repatriate these Ukrainian children is a really good thing. She's been very open about her passion for restoring the Ukrainian children to Ukraine, and the First Lady herself is showing her own leadership skills in dealing with Putin on this issue and making progress. These are the 4 things you need to know this afternoon. I'm Erick Erickson. Today is Friday. Sunday's coming. Make your decision about church by tomorrow. It's a Saturday decision to go on Sunday. Please stay engaged, stay informed, and please, as always, keep the faith.